Thank you for turning into another episode of WGC Fits. Today, we are joined by Captain Center Strike.
Hello, everyone.
We are going to talk about an interesting question. How to get fit and what to expect during a fitting from the golfer's perspective, right? Which is a little bit of a different one. And before we get in, please like and subscribe. It helps us out, lets you guys know when we got new stuff coming out, which is always good. And let us know if you have any comments in the questions in the comment section. So this is a question that I got in a fitting about a week ago, right? And I thought it was an interesting question because he said, how am I to know that this is the club after only hitting, let's say 10 to 20 shots, right? Mm-hmm. That's a good question, right? You're spending a lot of money.
Very
there are
legit
things
question
that are important to kind of feel confident, especially this is the first time getting fit, right? Now I know both of us do certain things to try to make customers comfortable with the purchase, right? But I think first and foremost, the thing that needs to be said is, when you're coming at least here for a fitting, I can't speak for anyone else, a purchase is never required, right? Mm-hmm. You're coming here to get fit, and that is the end of the transaction potentially, right? Doesn't need to be more than that. If you want it to be, we can obviously help in certain windows, but you're never required to purchase clubs. So I think that's probably the first thing from a comfort perspective. Sometimes guys get a little uncomfortable with that, right?
Sure.
But, let's really kind of dive into it, right? I've been fit obviously a bunch of times. I'm sure you've been fit a bunch of times, right? Let's start off with that kind of perspective. When you're getting fit, right? What are you expecting?
So when I get fit, it's probably a little different than most. People tend to think, oh, well, you do this for a living, so you know everything there is to know about fitting, which is entirely untrue. I learn every day.
Have to.
But when I go into fittings, I go in looking for certain things. How does the shaping of the golf club look? How does it feel at impact? How does it look at impact? Not impact. How does it look at setup?
Address.
Is it drawing my eye someplace? Is it, does it look clunky? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? There's a lot of different things I'm specifically looking for. When it comes to actually hitting when I'm getting fit, I'm just looking at certain launch windows. Or I know when I hit it good, and I don't probably need the numbers to tell me what they are. But I've done it before, so it's a little different for me. But it's funny because anytime over the last, say 3 to 4 times that I've actually gone through a fitting, I didn't look at any of the numbers.
No.
Which is different. I want people to look at the numbers because I want to show them the differences. But when I've done it, I don't necessarily need to know it because I could probably tell just by how I hit it.
And that's a good point, right? We use the numbers, we use the technology and the data here as almost a form of visual aid for the player, right? Because it's a way to, me and you can talk about stuff and describe something, but it's a way for us to relate to the customer, essentially, what we're trying to describe, right? Just gives them some points, if you will. Kind of like you, right? When I get fit, I try not to look at the screen because there's certain things that I care about before looking at the screen that are far more important to me, right? Just to give you a few, 2 clubs have to look a very specific way for me in an iron, let's say, or it's never going in the bag. I'm not even looking at it, right? It's the pitching wedge and it's the 8-iron. If the pitching wedge and 8-iron look a specific way for me, I can take that set and say, okay, you check off the first box. Second, I'm looking for a specific feeling kind of throughout impact, right? I'm looking for a weighty kind of feeling at the bottom during the swing, right? These are all things that are important to me. And then from a performance perspective, windows of launch is important, right? But for me, the thing I can't see and the thing I never want to see is I never want to see a ball start to tail left, right? That's something where I can't play golf like that. So again, before I look at anything on the screen, I'm trying to make sure the club checks off some other boxes that if they don't check off, I don't care how good the screen says, I can't play golf with it. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah, I would say that's, there's so much more to it, and I don't even know that so much what we do is even fitting anymore. So much what we do is trying to optimize it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
So you can optimize it a lot of different ways. So it's really about trying to find, you know, I guess to back up a step, you don't know what you don't know type of thing. So a lot of people coming in, it might be their first time of getting fitted. You know, what do you look for? I want to try to give you a better chance. That's all I want to try to do. That means a lot of different things. It could mean, you know, getting you more distance. It could be me getting more accuracy. It could be getting more consistency. It could be getting a better look. It helps if I get all those and stay within the frameworks of a budget. One of the big questions that comes up, I mean, I ask it to a lot of my people.
I ask it every time. What do you want to spend?
Do you have a number in mind? Not because I want to go up to that number. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to be happy, but I don't want to bring in a Thai fusion iron if the person wants to spend not even half of this, because it's not going to make either one of us very happy.
Correct, and that's where the communication side of a fitting is very important, right? And I think that kind of leads to, let's say, the first thing that I would hope a person comes into a fitting, at least is comfortable with, right? I'm looking for a conversation, right? This isn't going to be a thing where you hit 10 balls, I tell you stop, I give you 10 more balls, I give you another club, right? I'm looking for get back and forth,
feedback,
give and take, right? Yeah. I always tell people this, right? You know, from a fitting perspective, sure, this stuff's important, right? But the decisions that we are making when we're building the clubs comes half from what we're seeing here, but half what you're telling us. You know, it's got to be a little bit of both. And if you're able to provide that feedback, I think it's important, right? But then I guess part of that would be kind of coming in with a clear-cut idea of, let's say, like a checklist for yourself, just like we talked about.
Right.
You got to have goals.
It might not necessarily be a club or a list of clubs you want to try, but hey, what do you want to get out of it? What do you want to accomplish?
I think the biggest thing that, from a reality perspective, what we try to do for people is give people confidence, right? And there's a lot of different ways to give people confidence, right? Like I said, confidence for me means I can trust that the ball's not going to go left off the club face. Right. And if I can do that, I can make a better golf swing. Because I played golf a long time with the ball just shooting left, and I hate that, you know? So confidence comes in a lot of different sizes and shapes. And I guess, you know, when I go into a fitting, right, I always want to make sure that I'm pretty clear with the fitter in terms of what my goals are. You know, I want to, you know, look at some drivers, and the main thing I'm trying to do is I feel like I hit the ball too high. Okay, well, let's see. You know, I go into a fitting and I say, you know what, I feel like my clubs are too heavy. Cool. We got a very clear-cut goal. Let's make them lighter. You know, whatever it is. You know, go ahead.
I want to hit it farther.
Yeah, that's most common one probably, right? I want more distance. Cool, let's find you some, you know. But let's make sure, and this is where expertise and why people come to see us, let's say, is I want to make you efficient and, like you said, optimize, right? I think it's important to know, yeah, like I can make a ball unhealthy from a launch condition and go farther. But that's not really what I want to do. No,
that's not benefiting you.
No, that's hurting you.
It might go farther, but it's not going to be very playable.
Well, it might look good on that thing, right? But on a golf course, it's not playable, right? So that's another thing is playability. You know, what? Just name a couple things that you kind of help or hope that a customer, you know, comes in with, or that if you were going to go and would say like as a checklist for people to kind of have when they're coming into a fitting. What do you think that would be?
Biggest thing I would say, I would like them to have some companies, not necessarily companies, but some products in mind.
Just guide us a little bit.
There's just a little bit. It doesn't necessarily have to be, okay, I want to try the Ping G430 and it doesn't necessarily have to be that specific, but hey, if, you know, can I try this or this and just see what that's like. I'm always going to put in a wild card candidate or two, just based on kind of what I see. But that doesn't mean it's an end all to be all. I mean, there's a long list of golf clubs that we have in there. So, you know, just narrowing it down even just a little bit helps.
Makes
a
a
frame of
big-
reference.
'cause it's a
Again,
time
whether
thing,
it's
you
a
know?
budget thing or it's a, I want to specifically try, Ping TaylorMade in Callaway or whatever. That's fine.
And that's the other thing that I always ask as well is, when we're asking questions and stuff, right? You're not going to hurt our feelings. You're not going to beat us up. We don't care, Be honest with it. If there's something you really want to see.
It's not that we don't care. We want you to be happy.
Yeah,
as much as
that's a
possible.
better way to put it. Yeah. It's not going to affect us negatively or positively. Right?
Correct.
We don't have any skin in the game.
Correct. We try not to bring any biases when it comes to, hey, I want to try this company. Okay, that's good. That's fine.
Let's go get it.
Let's go get it.
Make it happen.
Let's figure it out.
And that's almost what I ask people, what I tell people a lot is, right? When we're talking about this, like, again, you mentioned, we're kind of optimizing more almost at this point. I always tell people, you tell me what you want. I'm going to make it as good as I can get it, right? Or you give me an idea and I'll take that idea and I'll run with it. And if I feel like I then, like you said, have to throw in a wild card or two, then I will. We'll talk about it, right? But again, I'm almost looking more for when a guy comes in and gets fit to, I guess, just have an open mind, but then it also have like some goals. I guess that's the best way to put it, And then obviously when we're doing this, we talk about it all the time. We have tons of stuff that we use to check off whether or not the clubs work, whether it's launch condition, spin, standard deviations and carry and spin, smash factor, landing angle, all that kind of stuff. So I would also say at this point that that's pretty tried and true, and I would almost say when you're coming in, you trust the service or trust the process, I guess is the best way to put it.
Feel free to ask questions.
Ask away. Yeah. The more
Not any
questions,
bad
the better.
questions.
No such thing as a bad question. But yeah, we have windows that we can use to come up with a pretty solid answer, as long as we're giving proper information up front. I think that's the best way to put it. And again, at the end of the day, just trying to help people get better, trying to find some confidence in players for their golf swings. That's what I would say. What do you think? Sound good?
No, I think that sounds great.
I think that's what it is. Maybe this is a video where we down the road we can talk to Captain Ballspeed and see what he's looking for, since we fit him so much.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's the thing.
He's looking for more distance. I can already tell.
More distance. He probably needs to hit more greens from inside 120. No, I'm just playing. So, just again, just to give you guys an idea of kind of what we expect when we go to fittings, but then also, what are just some good things to keep in mind when you're getting fit? Because
have questions.
Information's power. Never feel like after a fitting, if you have questions, that they can't be answered, because they should be. That's what I would say. So, if you guys have any more questions about this, please let us know. If you guys have any comments, let us know down in the comment section. And if you want to come get fit. We'll set you up, help you through it. You don't need to be perfect, right? Far from. None of us are.
No.
But
far from.
Yes. But you just come in with, an open mind and you'll walk out better. That's the whole idea. So
yeah, and I would say the biggest thing with me is fitters shouldn't fit themselves, because I know what to try or not to try. So I want to see another person do it.
Yeah,
and
100%.
And go in, again, kind of go in with an open mind, but maybe go in with, okay, well, why'd you try it this way? Or why'd you do this?
100%. 100%.
That's perfectly
we're golfers just like them.
Correct.
So
Correct.
It's a good thing to have. Keep in mind. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
There we go. Stay tuned for the next one. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Please like and subscribe.